Welcome back, everybody. And I'd now like to hand you over to David. Thank you, David.
Jeanette, thank you. Becky, good morning. We're so delighted that you could join us today. Being the son of a candy wholesaler from a small town in Iowa growing up, and I tried to calculate how many M&Ms it would take to go from where I live in McLean, Virginia, to the world headquarters of Mars, also here in McLean, Virginia. But math perhaps not being my strong suit, I didn't quite get the calculation done. But it wouldn't be that many M&Ms to get me to Mars headquarters. And we're so delighted that you've taken the opportunity as Global Digital Content Director and the DAM product owner for Mars Inc. to join us today and talk about empowering marketing during a pandemic. The use of digital content has become so paramount in so many ways in which we never planned for it to be. One of the beauties and challenges of digital asset management, certainly. Thank you for your presentation today. And Becky, welcome.
Thank you, David. So as David said, I'm Becky Caldwell, Global Digital Content Director for Mars Inc. I've been with Mars for 3 years and I'm passionate about driving transformational change across the business. Mars is a private, family-owned company with much-loved services and billion-dollar brands. Today, our DAM is home to 93 of our brands with over 130,000 assets spanned across 22 countries and counting. All our associates can access DAM today, viewing, downloading, and reusing assets, while doing so safely based on the metadata, rights management, and governance in place. So let's understand how Mars got to the point where our DAM empowered global marketing teams during a pandemic. I want to take you on the journey through 5 critical steps that I believe set us up for success, and in turn could do the same for you. So let's begin with mindset, because after all, that's what it's all about. We all know it's never really about the technology. People love to blame the tech because it's the easy thing to do. However, there are 3 principles I follow. Mission. Begin with a clear, people-focused mission. This can help you craft and tell your story. Mix. Send the right mix of people into the room and make sure you have the right audience too. This is a big transformation and time is precious. Mutuality. Always treat your partners and team with respect. At the end of the day, you're one team on a difficult mission. I wanted to share that I practice what I preach. I'm a big fan of quotes, but I'm an even bigger fan of a happy and valued team. Whilst putting this presentation together, I reflected on the early days of COVID. I'd asked a lot of the team, late nights, last-minute requests, and so on. There are many notes within our team chat, but this one stood out. A heartfelt thank you to my awesome team, including positive leadership feedback I was starting to receive. I always get such joy in writing these. It's not just because we care, or are colleagues, or even friends. It's because we have a clear operations model that works for our mission and needs, that defines our roles and responsibilities, allowing us to be a high-performing team. So, get ready, because here comes the best gift I can give you in 30 minutes. This is what it really takes to run a DAM. At the end of the day, people just want to find stuff. And that may be all you're thinking about too, but it's not quite that simple, although I'm going to try and make it that way for you. Below the top triangle are all the behind the scenes elements that you need to put in place, including the people, to create a fantastic experience. DAM product team operations. Most of you get this. You know there is a product and technology. Good job. And at the very least, you have a team taking care of product management, UX design, development, and user support. This is where you may have to think about things a little bit more carefully and maybe don't have things covered or even considered. The asset migration team are actually people managing metadata, rights, governance, and legal. They are always the teams we forget to include, but are really, really important. It really does take a village of people to get this right. You just have to define how big your village is based on your company size and program. And please do not underestimate the value of getting these elements right. Program management doesn't have to be one person at 100%. However, you need to recognize what you need, and remember this isn't a project, it's a program. I think we've heard that several times throughout the last 2 days, and it's definitely key. This work doesn't just stop. It evolves, it becomes business as usual. Adoption management. Is your program live? Do you tell people about it? Have you trained them? You didn't put all this work in for no one to log in. Think about how you can best reach your business associates, agencies, champions, and so on. Regardless of your scope and scale, never assume one size fits all. Adoption management is going to be critical to the value you get back for DAM. Failure can be tough. Trust me, I have enough bruises to show it, but it does make you stronger. Failure is not the opposite to success. It's part of the success. So let's start embracing it. Some simple rules to failing well. Rule number 1, always edit without ego. Create a safe place where you can be honest with one another as a team and allow yourselves to grow together, and don't hold back the program. Big problems. Do you have the right team? That's not me saying the people you have today are the wrong people, but do you need more helping hands? Do you need more expertise? We did, and we brought in ICP who are still very much part of our team today. Small problems, stand-ups, meetings, tools, your story. Make sure you create the right cadence. Review those meetings, agendas, attendees, and put the tools in place to help you. Never be afraid to polish that story. We always learn and always polish. And lastly, success is in the details. Small changes can equal big differences. I know from experience this is definitely true. However, all that said, failure can also be a perception. Let's see how many of these statements resonate with you. It's a shame DAM doesn't have all product information. I'm disappointed my team haven't been introduced and trained on DAM yet. DAM is supposed to be integrated to X system, yet it's not been delivered. This is where I secretly wish I could see all your faces. Imagine if you'd simply managed expectations and communicated your plans with those people. They can become your biggest advocates and instead be saying, DAM only has asset metadata. We have a PIM for all product information. I'm excited for my team to receive their introduction and training on DAM next month. DAM will be integrated to X system in 12 weeks. So how do you manage expectations? Roadmaps. They are so key to helping you work smart and not hard. Firstly, understand the roadmaps you need. This could be from product enhancements, integrations, country rollouts, and so on. Whatever you need, they enable the same principles. Stakeholders, they will help you manage their expectations and the conversations. Decision making can be made faster, allowing room for agile thinking and conflict management. Remember, no egos. Results, you'll have real milestones to report to the business. How great is that? Work smart, seriously. I cannot stress enough, and from experience, that you will be pulled in multiple directions trying to please everyone and end up delivering nothing. Roadmaps don't always have to be timelines. They can also be processes. This is our clear activation process that sets us up for success, from discovery right through to business as usual. This can also help the team manage the timeline roadmaps too, as you have clear steps within each process. I actually created this when launching another capability within the stack, so I stole with pride and edited accordingly for Dan. You don't need to recreate something you know works. We then take a step further and help our partners know what to expect when we show up. The deliverables in each column may not be something they even touch, but we care they know we're managing it. For example, asset migration quality control. It's critical visibility, but not something they manage. Our team really does do the heavy lifting, and we show where we add value. If I have just scared you a little bit, I sincerely apologize. It's really okay to ask for help. I have, and I still do. If you struggle with this, please seek out your strategic thinkers to climb the mountain with you. This may not even be an internal person, but an external partner. Our final step, change. So a pandemic happened and we got severely tested. It's really okay, and it was a sink or swim moment. Suddenly, remote working was our new normal. Thankfully, our DAM team is pretty remote anyway, as I'm in the UK and they're in the US, but it still tested us. Accessing assets was a real pain point. We were midway through large agency migrations, and our associates wanted everything at their fingertips. And if those two weren't big enough, boom and bust begins. Budgets being cut and or reallocated. And if your business didn't care about e-com, I bet it does now. So our immediate response as a team was to huddle. Whilst I was being pulled into COVID leadership steerco, I cared I didn't sign up for anything the team didn't want. Our DAM team reflected on 4 key areas. Impact. Honest conversations about the impact on our roadmaps, positives and negatives surrounding people, process, and technology. Ways of working. I knew myself and at least one other were suddenly going to have new meetings and new stakeholders, which would lead to new product requirements. Governance, something our team prides themselves on and had solidly in place, but we hadn't handled content for a global pandemic before, so we really had to make sure we were ready. Acceleration. We looked upon the obstacles as opportunities and evaluated the risk. We're a pretty bold team, so we told COVID-19 to come and sit down. We were ready. Our DAM was the right maturity to take this on and ride the wave. And that's okay if yours wasn't. We accelerated. We put the right people in the right place and asked some of our team to take it as a development opportunity and stand in on tasks. We didn't stop any planned activations. Actually, we ended up pulling some forward. We made recommendations. As a team of experts, we provided guidance and solutions to increase effectiveness and speed to market with the content based on what we do best, all of which were adopted. And we decided as a team, COVID was going to be a success story for DAM. And I am so pleased we did. Our results speak for themselves. Stakeholders have shifted their mindsets, and the momentum as a result has transitioned from push to pull. Thank goodness we have those roadmaps to manage expectations. Use cases have evolved. E-com, D2C, business to business were always high on our agenda, but now we're high on theirs. The ecosystem is evolving to solve for end-to-end content needs. And because DAM is the heart of it, we're influencing and leading what that looks like. Data. Create the facts and share them. We are tracking and reporting COVID-19 asset reuse globally. Take away that you've got this. You showed up today, and therefore you're someone who wants this. Take the tools and the tips and make them work for you. If a global company the size of Mars can do this, you definitely can do too. My biggest ask, go have some damn fun whilst you do it. This journey isn't an easy one, but it's definitely worth it. Thank you for listening, and thank you to Henry Stewart for hosting me. I'm happy to take any questions, David.
Becky, thanks so much. I did try to do the math on how many M&M peanuts it would take to go from here in McLean, where I am, the 3.2 miles to the headquarters, and it turns out it's a lot of M&M peanuts. So, what a fascinating opportunity for us to hear about a global brand's response to the pandemic, to how I was thinking while listening with you about how when we go to the eye doctor and the device is moving around, is it clear yet? Is it clear yet? And to listen to the steps that you went through, which took previous measurements, if you will, about how DAM should work, and then refactored them into a whole different set of lenses to bring into sharp focus. Yes, we're going to continue doing DAM. Yes, we're going to work collaboratively in a way we didn't. And e-commerce, we have an announcement. So quite interesting. I'd like to share some of the questions that have come in. So let's start with this one. Are your users and agencies uploading and tagging assets? And or do you have an internal role that is dedicated to this during the approval process, but prior to publishing?
Great question. So we have trained our agencies on the metadata template and how to provide some tagging for us. But actually we have ICP doing all of that. So we haven't recruited internally at Mars. It's a very high skill set and something we identified that we should bring in the experts on. So that's what we did. And they do all of our quality control as well before we publish into DAM. And then we also work with our business associates to validate. So within the platform, within our DAM, we have enabled feedback on metadata and tagging. So as people are using it and saying, hey, actually, this looks wrong, or this could be added as well, we also allow that two-way feedback between the quality control and our associates.
Nice. If there is a case where there's a failed search or some other little bing, 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 that there's a metadata issue or a semantic issue, who gets the alerts from that? Is there a dedicated person? Do you get them? Or who's the metadata, kind of the metadata quality control board, if you will?
Yeah, so we do have a metadata fairy on our team, so we're very thrilled to have her. But we also have a support at DAM Mars email. So it's not going to one person, it's going to the team. So just for scale, we're a team of 22 on our DAM program, mixed of internal and external partnerships. So that goes to the right person and the right person picks it up.
One of the things that's so nice as a global leader in DAM for me to hear is your blend of using professional services that are available, as well as those that are deployed as full-time employees within Mars Inc. I think the rise of professional services in a variety of contributory roles is one of the things that's helping DAM to further extend its capabilities out globally, and it's so nice to hear that. One of the, always either in the shadows or sometimes in the halogen spotlight, are questions about rights management and usage restrictions, gating, expiration dates, like don't use the Halloween colors after this date, whatever it might be. So we did have a thoughtful question come in, if you could comment about some aspects about rights management of your assets and to make sure they're used with correct adjudication and safely and on brand.
Sure, so I take no credit for being the rights management expert on the team. So hopefully my team that are listening, I do them justice on this one. From our side, the rights is managed very heavily. It's something that I also went to rights management school when I took the program on to make sure I had understanding of it. How we manage that for the business is if an asset comes in and could just be used for Halloween, as the example there, David, it would be tagged with that. And then we've created flags within the asset. So before you even click in, it will say whether it's rights managed, whether it's expired, so that you know before even doing anything with it, you need to check what that means. We also have them tick that they understand what they're doing with that asset and if it can be used. And then we did have actually live examples of an asset suddenly going to be expired. And we emailed everybody that had downloaded it to say, this asset's now going to be expired. These are the actions you need to take. And in some cases, if we've got a replacement asset coming in, we point them in the direction of that. So we're not just saying, hey, stop using it. We're helping them evolve whatever their use case was as well.
A question came in, it's quite another one, they're all quite interesting actually. I love reading, I wish we had an hour just to do the questions. But a question came in about onboarding, and there was kind of an implicit understanding that there's a lot of reporting up, if you will, to ensure that management and those people who be approving the team growth, the budgets for 2021, et cetera, are aware of the centrality of the role of DAM. How about new employees?
That's an awesome question. So honestly, we're still on our journey. So we have been looking at, and I think everyone's talked about this during the event, but DAM isn't successful on its own. It's part of the wider ecosystem. So our team are currently embarking on how do you educate people on the ecosystem and not just on DAM. So at Mars, we have something called Mars U, which is our university. So we're actually looking at creating videos and training so that that would be mandatory training for anyone new coming in. At the moment, that's not set up. So we have champions within each market, and we hope that people will find them and be pointed towards them. We're also working on business as usual documentation. So actually, as people do come into businesses or even might take over roles that they previously didn't have to touch DAM and now they will, we have tons of training materials that are recorded, 3-minute clips, some documentation, a microsite. So there is a lot of behind the scenes work that should make it easy for people just to pick up what we're doing.
Great. One of the questions that came in is about asset types. And all of us as consumers are aware of packaging assets, of ads where we see the M&Ms dancing and so on and so forth, or depending on the brand, the various Mars brands, other things going on. So a question came in, are you managing any time-based media? in the under your purview? Any video, any audio, that kind of thing?
So we do have video. We are, honestly, our use case is expanded. Previously, we were very strict on, we don't touch TV. Now the team touches TV. Social is an interesting one because it's such a rapid response of an asset. So we are looking at whether it is the platform we have, or whether, again, taking a breath and looking at your ecosystem, is there another tool that's set up better, but that DAM can work with? So those assets don't live in multiple places. DAM's your single source of truth, but it might not be the tool that is delivering that asset externally. So yeah, we look at them, and we're constantly being challenged, which I love, as we go and speak to new teams in the business, new use cases, as to what our platform can really do and whether or not we're set up. And we're always honest with them. So if you've got teams asking you to do it, if you say yes, make sure you can. And if you say no, then point them in the direction of support, or you might also be leading the programs for the other initiatives as well.
Yes, as digital file types continue to change, and I made a little remark about TikTok yesterday when, and at one point it was just a clock. And now when we think about digital signage and where the retail stores are and the unbelievable graphics that are done through digital signage, yes, it's an asset. DAMs were never designed to manage digital signage, but we have to discover that digital signage. So I think we're all appreciative of the discipline that you're taking to be able to say, yes, we can manage that, or yes, we can know where it is. And it's we have a representational iconography or a placeholder or something like that. An interesting question came in about I'm going to use a funny phrase of geometry, but going backwards in the supply chain. So in the manufacturing process, either to a PIM system or actually further back into the various mechanisms that are used in creating product. Does DAM play any kind of role you could comment on there? And if it's proprietary, please don't worry about not answering.
Yeah, so I think we touch so many different parts of the business now. We definitely do go backwards, and we definitely do look at packaging, different elements of supply. So yes, but again, we're evolving, we're still learning, and we're still looking at what that looks like within the landscape.
So now let's put the telescope in the other direction, or the geometry in the other direction. One of the emerging use cases for DAM that I find very fascinating is what I call rich media customer service. So the ability of someone to send in more than a picture, to send in a video, send in a recording saying, my favorite one recently was someone who had purchased some hiking boots, went to lace them, and when she pulled the laces, all the eyelets came out. And it's almost disbelief to say that, but she did a little video, and the shoe manufacturer was able to actually see the video, go to quality assurance. Has DAM come to play any kind of role in customer service where the CSRs can look up a product, or don't store M&Ms in a hot car? I'm making that up, but.
Yeah, so honestly, actually that's more of our PIM. So we have seen PIM play more of a role with our customer services teams, ingredients, rules, regulations, and our DAM and PIM are connected. So what the customer service team fed back was having the visual really helps and give confidence that they're talking about the right product, but they don't get all that information from DAM.
What a lovely nugget. And I think that integration with Tim, and I think on the horizon, we are seeing a tremendous increase of the use of smart labels. So consumers can self-service, whether it's clothing, fabric care, or whether especially food ingredients. So I'm sure that will continue to play a role, and smart labels be driven by both DAM and PIM. Well, Becky, this brings us to the end of our opportunity to explore some of the many terrific principles that you and your team have put together to putting DAM to work globally and during a pandemic. I hope that next year we'll have the chance to be talking in person, where You'll bring a lot of good giveaways, and we'll be we'll be able to see what else DAM has come to provide as a service globally for Mars. On behalf of everyone who's listening, who would all say so if they could, thank you, and we look forward to welcoming you back in the future.
Thank you, David.